Hi there, Sagittarius. Thank you for joining me for your year 2016 forecast. I have to say, I do feel this can be one of the most significant years for you for a very long time. It's not just that Saturn's going to be in your sign for the whole of the 12 months. It is more profound than that. Of course, your ruling planet is Jupiter, and Jupiter is about optimism. And that's in a part of your horoscope through to the 8th of September, which is very much to do with life's big picture, to do with success and ambitions. And Jupiter can reward us when we work hard and show commitment, which goes hand in hand with the opportunities that it sometimes creates when we put the perspiration in. But Jupiter is going to be winding backwards from the 8th of January through to the 8th of May, suggesting you can't take everything for granted. But it is in the last quarter of the year, then moving into a part of your horoscope which you have a natural gift for, and that is interacting with others, networking and friendships. So that's exciting, but it's true that Saturn, the planet of structure, will be with you all year. And on the very first minute of 2016, Saturn is going to be forging an awesome semi-sextile to the Sun in your sector of resources. The suggestion here is that if you can really focus down onto the things that are absolutely essential, then there can be a reward at the end of the year for all your hard work. That reward could be tangible and it could be material, but just as equally, it can be one which is about you feeling better about yourself. But this is a year that's particularly special for you because it starts with Venus, the planet of love, having just moved into your sign. And if there have been any soul searching or second thoughts or doubts around your relationship sector as the curtain came down on last year, as you begin this new year, this is going to give you added confidence about your personal attractiveness and allure. Some archers may even give themselves a complete makeover as early as January of this new year. A need to refresh your image can actually feed into your sense of self. But there's more than this, because Mars, the power planet, the planet of the South, is actually going to be spending 5 long months in your sign this year. Right through from the 6th of March, it's going to be with you for 3 months, and then it's going to rewind into Scorpio and then return to your sign for August and September. And this is going to give you awesome determination to get ahead, because if you put the drive of the Sun with the discipline of Saturn together, you have a very, very potent combination. But over the last few years, it hasn't necessarily been without some complications, not least for us all, because Uranus has been in a real bad clash with Pluto. And that's going to be going on again this year, but for 3 final months, right at the start of the year. And by April, we're going to be free of it. But for you, this has been affecting your desire to be creative, fun, have freedom in your personal life and the way that you connect to others. Yet at the same times, at some times, it may have seemed that you have threatened the foundations of your world, because your need to do your own thing has almost seen you bucking against what's best for you. There could be more of that as 2016 begins, but I do feel that that particular issue can become less of a monster, but Uranus is going to be continuing in a very evolved part of your horoscope as far as you asserting your willpower. But there's much more, because Neptune, the planet of dreams, has been increasingly affecting your sense of identity and your emotional situation. Off and on, it actually turned out to be one of the largest influences of 2015. It's going to be very important this year too, especially from late May through to October, when it squares up with Saturn. And because Saturn is in your sign, you may feel a sense of restriction at times, or limitation, if things don't go exactly to plan. So if you're not absolutely clear about what you're trying to achieve, as 2016 starts and you spread yourself a little bit too thinly at any time, across those months and the end of May through to October, you could find yourself really getting bogged down, especially when Mars rewinds back into Scorpio across June and July. You may find that a lot of psychological baggage starts to surface, and your usual happy-go-lucky character is not necessarily going to have a free hand this year. You're going to need to be much more conscious of the needs of other people and of your responsibilities. However, as this new year begins, it is true that Mars is going to switch, and it's going to switch from Libra, where it had been the previous 6 weeks, into Scorpio. Now this is going to happen on the 5th of January, but you have to be aware that until it reaches your sign on the 8th of March, there could almost initially be quite a lot of stuff that's chopping around. You could find that your moods are rather changeable. It's not necessarily going to be a straight line, and just prepare yourself for this. There's also a solar eclipse on the 9th of March, one which provides a backdrop around your emotional needs, your support systems, and where you live and family life, which is going to go on for the following 6 months. But that's going to be working in alliance with the lunar eclipse, which occurs on the 23rd in, for you, the friendly Libra. This is perhaps saying to you that freedom-loving and independent side of your nature may need to give and take a little bit when it comes to really working in harmony with someone you're more closely involved with. And their desire to see more of you may conflict with another desire of yours to be a free spirit and go out and socialise when it suits you. So prepare yourself for this. But once Mars is in your sign, it does start to go backwards in the middle of April. So it's not necessarily going to be plain sailing. And of course Saturn always goes backwards for 5.5 months every year. And that's going to be the same this year. And Mars then obviously rewinds back into Scorpio, as I said before. And some politics can re-emerge across June and July. And I also should caution you about piling into anything and almost committing too much physical resources across all of those 7 months, because I think you could end up with some fevers or get headaches through frustration, and even come down with heavy colds if you're almost trying to do too much and take on too many challenges and fight too many battles. However, there are still some fantastic opportunities, and once Jupiter, your ruler, goes into forward motion on the 9th of May right through to the 8th of September, this is a platform for you to showcase just how authoritative, knowledgeable and talented you really are. And you can impress all the right people, provided you focus your energies in a way which is real. Perhaps part of your greatest gift is that you do have this belief that you can overcome any hurdle. But sometimes this can trick you into promising more than you can realistically deliver. That's something that you need to avoid doing this year. But by the 1st of September, another solar eclipse also occurs in your 10th solar house. And the following 6 months can be another opportunity to continue to push on and just show that you can take on more responsibility, that you are worthy of a promotion, or greater expertise can be bestowed upon you through some kind of training course. Once Jupiter moves, however, on the 9th of September, it does go into a much more sociable sector, and the last quarter of the year can be a time when you may want to celebrate some of the breakthroughs that have happened earlier in the year. But just be conscious that with the lunar eclipse occurring on the 16th, back in the emotional energies of Pisces, you can't take your eye off the ball when it comes to that basic foundation that your whole life works from. And that's in a physical sense, in terms of where you live, or an emotional sense, in terms of your familial relationships, or with a partner, or just within yourself, your relationship with yourself. Now, in October, Mars bursts out of your sign and goes into Capricorn, and you may really see some solid results in terms of a financial improvement. But he does go side by side with Pluto in the middle of the month, which can lead to some really intense discussions, maybe even a power battle. If you're looking for a partner, you're going to be feeling very omnipotent at that time, and the most ardent side of your nature can certainly come to the fore. But once Mars moves into Aquarius in November and then stays there at the start of December, and it's more about how you interact with other people, how you think and communicate. But as the year comes to a close, your emotional foundations really do come back sharply into focus. That needs to really be right for you this year to prosper, despite the fact that you are given lots of tools in terms of Mars being with you for much of the year, Venus starting the year for you. You really need to make sure that you're not overstretching yourself, and you are conscious of the role of Neptune and those solar and lunar eclipses in your fourth solar house, which is all about feelings. And there can be a tendency with Sagittarius people, I feel, to brush off emotions with the need to always move on to the next exciting new adventure. But you need to stop, pause, digest, process, work through, and perhaps even let go of some old stuff, particularly at the start of this year and in June and July, when Mars moves through a very tricky area. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.